So Alex Garland's new film, Warfare, is out. He co-directed and co-wrote the film with former U.S. Navy SEAL Ray Mendoza. And the film is based on Mendoza's experiences during the Iraq War as a U.S. Navy SEAL, and it's a reenactment of an experience that he and his platoon went through in 2006. Now, let me tell you right off the bat, this film is awesome. And it feels weird to say that with so much enthusiasm because the subject of this film is so incredibly depressing. But it is, in fact, an awesome film. And as a note, I will talk about spoilers, so go watch the movie and then come back. So first things first, I want to say, I know I've been doing quite a bit of movie-related videos, and I don't want you to think I'm turning into a movie review channel, because I'm not. But the core of this channel is to express my love of art, of music, and film mainly. But if I talk about something, it means it moved me, that I'll remember it forever. And this is one of those films. So now to Warfare. It's a war film, surprise, surprise, but surprisingly, really, it's rather short at just over 90 minutes or so, which is amazing. More films should be 90 minutes, but right, it's a war film and you expect a lot of action, but it's really not action heavy, which I guess is another surprising factor about it. It's not a Transformers film or anything, as you could expect from a movie like this. It's a very heavy film where you see a group of guys just get physically and emotionally pummeled by the enemy. But it's very realistic in the sense that you're not seeing kill after kill. That doesn't really happen. You're also not seeing the Americans win at every bullet. It feels real, it feels tense. And that's one of the things that really moved me about this film is that it feels just real. For example, like I said, this film isn't going to inspire some 6-year-old little boy to get a toy gun and pretend to be in a war in his backyard and have some fun pew-pews. It honestly probably would bore any person that's not into a real movie. The kills that you do see, the movie lingers on. The physical damage that some of the soldiers face, the movie really lingers on, and it makes you feel guilty for even watching it. Another aspect that feels real is that it truly feels like a slice of life of this one Navy SEAL platoon. For almost the first half of the movie, it's a waiting game. You just see army dudes doing army dude things like talking on the radio, looking at laptops with drone footage, a sniper just sweating away, scoping out the environment, and some occasional gag here and there that shows the camaraderie between these guys. Almost brotherly bond, right? But like I said, the movie's not trying to be something it's not. Another aspect that feels real is how we see the platoon react to mental distress and severe physical injury. 2 guys in the movie get severely injured. One of them was never able to walk again. This was from a massive explosion that hit the team. After that, the movie changes and becomes really scary. You see how even the squad leader is affected, to the point where someone's trying to talk to him and he's just out of it. Multiple people get like that. And I love it. It's incredibly realistic because, I'm sure you've experienced a moment like that where so much stuff is going on and you're just in the middle of it and people are trying to get you back to earth. But it's the chaos. It's what you're experiencing. It's just so real. It's almost too much to bear. Now, it's not surprising to me that the movie does a great job on this because, well, the story is real and the events of it are from real accounts of what happened. Now, before I go into probably the most important point I'll make about the movie, let me talk about some of the external things that make the movie so effective. So it's an Alex Garland film, so you can expect fantastic cinematography, and there was. It truly is one of the most beautifully shot war films that I've ever seen. Some war films are very realistic. There's not a lot of superficial beauty to them. Not this one. Color is very important. The way a room is lit, what the camera chooses to focus on, it's all fantastic. From a really close-up shot of someone's face and cheek creasing on a sniper stock, to a close-up of its safety lock, to the dusty red aura tinge of a room. The sound is also a standout here, which is not a surprise, but it's still a surprise, because there were 2 moments in the movie. One from an explosion, the most consequential explosion in the film, mind you, to an aircraft just zooming by the combat area. And let me tell you, when those two things happen, you will never forget how you felt when they happened. I mean, I was in a theater full of people, and I visually, peripherally saw how this sound affected everyone. Now, there was also another moment that exemplified the chaos sound-wise. It was when one of the guys was talking to someone on the radio, and it was breaking up and getting louder and louder until the guy just turned it off. It was chaos and noise incarnate. The sound was really bothering me too, which is like really meta and really cool. Another thing the movie does really well sound-wise is when it decides to pull the sound back and when to put it back in at full raw force. Kind of like what I said about the radio, but this time with the power of the human scream. And that was a lot of Joseph Quinn's character. Now, his character in the film gets hit with an explosion, and his legs are just torn up, and he's outside when this happens. And now you can hear his muffled screams when you're outside, but when one of his squad members pulls him back into the building for safety, the sound transitions in both color and sound to raw sound, if that makes sense. So his screams, in a snap of a finger, become loud as screams, and the whole picture becomes the natural color of the world. And man, when that happens, you're just like, that was an effective way to contrast what just happened with the aftermath of it. It's really a visual and auditory metaphor of how something big happens, and it takes a moment to process it, but then it hits, and everything becomes real again. It's also in the same way that when the explosion happens in the movie, there's a long period where the sound is muffled. People aren't even awake yet, and people are barely waking up, and they're slowly starting to realize what happened, and they're noticing their injuries. It's brilliant. And my third and final point is that the movie says so much by almost not saying anything at all. What I mean is that the movie was set in the Iraq War, right? A war that many thought was hasty, unnecessary, arrogant, and did more harm than good. And the movie shows just how unnecessary it was by showing these honorable soldiers going through hell for what seems to be for nothing. It shows what the price of arrogance is. The setting is basically this small apartment that these guys have captured, and they're sitting there analyzing their environment, and they're surrounded by the enemy from all sides. It's kind of like trying to invade a colony of honeybees. Like, yeah, maybe you'll find a spot, but they're everywhere and you're not gonna win. The movie shows just how dumb this whole thing was when one of the holes in the walls, a grenade is thrown through it. And that's when everything changes in the movie. The guys in there know that they're in danger. And all this time, they thought they were hidden. But no, the enemy is like roaches. They're everywhere. And the whole movie is them trying to defend this point in this building, but they end up having to be extracted because they were not going to win. And when they drive off in tanks, after they're rescued, all the enemy dudes just come out like roaches out into the open. And they were everywhere, and they just look around like, no, that's it? We did it? You know, like, they were there the entire time. They just had the whole thing surrounded, like, they were ahead of them, always. And the guys just, like, kind of look at each other like, almost like you feel for them too, in a way of like, you know, this is our land and stuff, you know, like, and like, God, I guess that's it, you know, like, it just, I don't know, it's like this weird, like, feeling of just emptiness. And you almost feel like, you know, this emptiness with the enemy as well, because, you know, you can sense that they're kind of relieved, but at the same time, they're kind of like, you know, like, I don't know, like, you can tell that they had the upper hand the entire time and they knew it. And they're just like looking at each other like, almost like, what was this for? Like, that's it? You know, like, it's this weird thing, you know? The movie has ultimately this bleak emptiness to it. You know, it shows just how futile this war was and what these soldiers went through, the mental and severe physical toll, and that it was all for nothing. Warfare is an incredibly powerful film. Go watch it. Also, 3 more final things. Sorry. 1, give Joseph Quinn an Oscar for the best screams in a war movie. I mean, Jesus, the guy is incredible. That's pretty much all he does in the movie, and he kills it. 2, the film doesn't have any music, which is awesome. It makes it even more real and impactful. And 3, the opening scene of the movie is this squad of soldiers watching this like classic 80s style workout video of, hot women doing a dance routine on a shitty TV. And they're all smiling and dancing. And when the squad goes to the battlefield, a couple of them look at each other and dance like the video, which was stupidly funny and endearing, again, showing that sort of brotherly, fun. I also think that, I don't know if it was on purpose, but I really liked this because, interestingly enough, the injuries of the 2 guys in the movie who were, again, severely injured, those injuries were on their legs. One of them lost the ability to walk even. And I think the contrast of dancing, an art form that heavily requires you to use your legs, and the travesty of losing your legs in the film, I think was really powerful. And I could be wrong, but I'm willing to bet that the 2 guys that were dancing in the beginning of the film, when they were just kind of looking at each other and doing the stupid dance or whatever, like maybe it was the 2 guys that ended up losing their legs or ended up getting severely injured, that is. So, I don't know, just it might have been a coincidence, but I'd like to point it out anyway. But those are my thoughts on Warfare. Now I would like to know what you have to say in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Have you even seen the movie? Are you interested in watching this film? What's your favorite war movie of all time? Let me know in the comment section. Give this video a like if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, you beautiful creature. But I think that's it for me. You all take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.